the deadline for declaration. Do you now extend the deadline for all, or it's going to be treated as a special case scenario? And how do you go about the final declaration in light of that?
Let's get another question. You can answer another one.
Naam, kwa majina naitwa Emmanuel Kilongi kutoka runinga ya Magharibi, na swali langu litahusiana na wale maafisa ambao watasimamia kura kwenye zoezi la uchaguzi mdogo. Je, ni Wakenya watakaramika kulipia hilo zoezi ama ni vipi? Manake wakati huu zoezi la uchaguzi ambalo limekamilika, tumeona kwamba Wakenya walikaramika kulipia hili zoezi, lakini mumeleta tena ama mmetengeneza uchaguzi mdogo hapo baadaye. Asante.
I will answer the one in Eldas constituency. It will not affect our timelines in terms of presidential announcement, or the result announcement, because if it is done tomorrow, by the end of the day, they will be able to tally and they will be able to transmit the results, and we shall continue to count them. And then after the results are collated at the constituencies, they will be airlifted. The originals will be airlifted at Bomasi. So it will not affect our timelines for the announcements of presidential results. I will ask the Vice Chair to answer the second question. Can you repeat your question?
Nauliza kwamba kwa majina naitwa Emmanuel Kilongi kutoka TV Magharibi, na swali langu ni kwamba katika uchaguzi huu tunaona kwamba tume ya Iebc ilikuwa imewaajiri wahudumu wa muda ambao watalipwa na pesa za Mkenya, lakini tunaona kwamba tena kuna uchaguzi mdogo ambao utaandaliwa katika kaunti ya Mombasa, Kakamega, West Pokot na Kachiliba. Je, ni nani atakayekaramika kuwalipa wale maafisa ambao watakusimamia zoezi hilo la uchaguzi? Ni Mkenya, Iebc ama ni nani? Asante.
Iebc ni ya Wakenya. So it will be itasimamiwa na Iebc na Treasury, kwa sababu hii mambo ya by elections ni kawaida. Hata 2017 kulikuwa na by election tulifanya. Kwa hivyo itasimamiwa tu kwa sababu makosa imekoseka na ni lazima tuendelee.
You can take the questions from that side coming to this side.
My name is Hilary Orino from the French news agency AFP. I know you say that voters are still ongoing, or rather still on the queue at the moment. Are you worried that the voter turnout is going to be much lower than you saw in 2017?
There are many reasons that may cause low voter turnout. But as of now, if we are at 56.1%, we are doing well because the voting is still going on. I don't think there is low voter turnout, and in some areas, the voter turnout is quite high. So I don't think we have a problem with the voter turnout. At 56.7 now, I think by the time we close the stations and we get the final, and this was at 4 o'clock, I'm sure we are going to hit beyond 60%.
Another set of 3.
Watakapomaliza kukusanya kura hizi kutoka eneo hili, zitapelekwa katika kituo kikubwa cha kukusanya kura, cha kuhesabu kura, ambacho ni chuo anuai cha Kisumu, ama ukipenda the Kisumu Polytechnic. Kwa hivyo baadaye tutaenda tukajumuike nao huko, ndio tupate matokeo ya jumla ya maeneo yote hapa kaunti ya Kisumu yaliyopiga kura, kisha baadaye ndio utapata matokeo kamili kulingana na takwimu. Mimi kwa sasa Hadia sina la ziada, nitaendelea kufuatilia kwa taratibu, kisha baadaye tutakuwa tunaendelea kutoa matokeo jinsi yanavyotiririka kimantiki. Narejesha kwako studio Hadia.
Asante Ahmed Bahaj. Bila shaka mtazamaji, usingizi umewahama wanahabari kwenye kikosi cha Kivumbi 2022 kuweza kukuletea tu vile matokeo. Na kuhusiana na hilo, mwenzangu Ken Mijungu tayari anaarifiwa kwamba ana matokeo mengine ambayo yameendelea kuwasili kwenye kitovu chetu cha matokeo hapa kwenye shirika la The Standard. Ken Mijungu, ni yapi ambayo yamejiri sasa hivi?
Shukran sana Hadia. Hayawi Hua, and eventually after the polls closed at 5 p.m. that's in the polling stations that opened in time. Well, they had to close and the counting began, and several counties are reporting in terms of polling stations that have so far declared their results. And we have the results for you because the Iebc is saying that about 56.7%, that's about 12 million registered voters have voted, and that's excluding the ones that voted manually because they have to be put together. So these are the results as at now. We began with reporting that Baringo had declared some results in some polling stations, and Baringo at that time had reported about 3 out of the 1,031. But as at this point, these are the other counties that are reporting, and we begin with the county of Turkana all the way to Baringo that has turned blue as at this point. Let's go to Turkana County and see which part of Turkana is reporting these results. And this is in Loima. Now Loima is declaring the results. There could be several polling stations in Loima, but Loima is currently turned blue, which means it's in favor of Raila Odinga of Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition, 402 so far at 77.16%. William Samoei Ruto at 119 votes so far at 22.84%. So this is the county of Turkana, specifically in Loima. The polling stations there are having their results this evening reported, but it's not the only one. Let's take a look at other parts also reporting. We spoke about Baringo earlier. So Baringo is still at Tiati that is reporting. Away from that, because we need to show you other areas that we have. And this is interesting because in Nyanza, Siaya specifically, and Kisumu, they are reporting results. So this area this evening are the first in Nyanza to report the results. Let's go in and see what's in Siaya County and specifically where. So Alego Usonga is declaring results. And remember, Siaya County has several: Ugenya, Ugunja, Game, Alego, Usonga, Bondo, and of course Rarieda. Those are 6 constituencies. Alego, Usonga this evening reporting. We still don't have Game, we don't have Ugunja, Ugenya, Bondo, and of course Rarieda. Once we have them, we will definitely be telling you which zones are declaring results. But as at these results, 403 for Raila Odinga, and of course 124 William Ruto. So that was just one, but there is still Kisumu. Let's go in to Kisumu and see what exactly they are reporting. So in Kisumu, it's only Muhoroni that is reporting currently, and Muhoroni is not the only one. We have Seme, Kisumu East, Kisumu Central, Mumias East, Nyando, and Nyakacha. A total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 constituencies reporting, but it's only in Muhoroni. So this, by the way, could just be a section of polling stations in Muhoroni that have declared results. But because the results is positive for Raila Odinga, the whole of that area will turn blue. But we'll be breaking down as per the polling stations how many results we're getting in the presidential election. So total registered voters, 606,754 in Muhoroni. Valid so far is 27. Small number, but a higher percentage based on the fact that it's turning blue based on that region. But away from Kisumu, Turkana, Baringo, there is also Kitui. Let's take a look at which part of Kitui is declaring results at this particular point. So in the county of Kitui, we have Mwingi North, Mwingi Central, Mwingi West, Kitui Central, Kitui Rural, Kitui East, and of course Kitui South. And out of that, the results that we have so far received are from Mwingi North, and Mwingi North is turning blue for Raila Odinga. A total of 532,758 1,000 registered voters, and valid so far is only 15. So those are the results that we're seeing, 342, and Raila Odinga goes to 75.05% this evening. Now the rest of the counties are not reporting yet, but remember this is an area that traditionally votes for Kalonzo Musyoka being his backyard. But let's see at the end of the day the reflection what this map will show us, especially in the rest of the area. So as it is currently, that's what you want. But apart from that, I'd like to make a comparison some of these areas. Oh, before I go to the comparison, let's take a look at Kwale. Now, Kwale County has a total of 328,252 registered voters. Now, it has 4 constituencies. Out of the 4 constituencies, we have only Matuga constituency, a few polling stations in Matuga constituency reporting tonight, and as at this time, we still have others like Kinango, Lungalunga, Sambweni not reporting. But this is just a section of the polling stations, and the total valid here so far is 250 out of 328, 252. That is in the county of Kwale. But apart from that, we will do this. We will go back to that map and try and see exactly how this election turned out in 2017 and how they reported. Now, out of all the constituencies in Turkana in 2017, Turkana North is the only county that turned red. Remember, the governor of Turkana currently is supporting the UDA presidential candidate William Ruto. But Jubilee was red, Turkana West, Loima, Turkana Central, Turkana South, and Turkana East were all in favor of the NASA candidate. Then that was Raila Odinga. Uhuru Kenyatta led in that election. But this, as I mentioned, was 2017. Let's go to 2013 and see what happened. Now, in 2013, the whole of the county of Turkana was orange in favor of Raila Odinga at that time. So he took the whole area of Turkana, and now with the counties that are reporting, with the polling stations that are reporting in Turkana, we see Loima. Now, Loima, interestingly, this county at that point supported Raila Odinga in 2013 and 2017. I can just do a quick comparison of specifically Loima. In 2017, Loima turned blue, and there's a small section of Loima here that went red. And in 2013, Loima, the whole of Turkana region, as I mentioned, went orange in favor of Raila Odinga in 2013, 2017. 2022, we only have one that is reporting currently. But even the small section of Loima that went to Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013 right now is still a little blank. It's part of Turkana North that has not declared any results. So as soon as we have that, we'll definitely be showing you. So this is the general map of the 2022 election, and these are the reports that we have as at now. Kwale, a section of Kwale, a section of Kitui, Baringo, Turkana, Siaya, and Kisumu are reporting. Before I leave, let me see if there are more areas that are reporting tonight. Well, they haven't. But before I hand over, I'd like to show you this because this is very important. You have to concentrate in particular areas in this map tonight, like these areas of Nakuru, Nairobi, Kiambu, Muranga, Embu, Meru, and of course Tharaka Nithi down here. You can't ignore that. But even as you concentrate on that, don't forget to concentrate also in this particular area, because these areas that are touted as strongholds. So you look at Baringo, Tana River, Elgeyo Marakwet, Uasin Gishu, Nandi, Vihiga, but just forget about the rest of that area for now. Look at who is declaring, and this is the area of interest. We'll be focusing a lot on that. We'll be focusing a lot on that tonight. Also this, but don't forget also that this is a very important area for this election. Marsabit and Mandera and Wajir, very big sections of the country that we must focus on tonight. So far, these are the results that are coming in. And before I hand over to Hadi, I just like to refer to my phone one more time and refresh and see what the Iebc portal is showing in comparison. to what we're showing you tonight. And right now, Baringo, which is right here, has declared 5 polling stations. In Bungoma, Bungoma for the first time has a polling station that is declaring, and Garissa has 3. Garissa is somewhere here, and as I said, this is also very important. It has Lagdera, Bambala, Garissa Town, Fafi, Dadaab, and Ijara. You know, these sections are very important for this election. Fafi, you know, Lagdera, very important. Look at the size of this region. How many votes would the candidates get from that? So as soon as we have that, we'll definitely be showing you. So Garissa is reporting 3 polling stations so far out of a total of 599. Kakamega has 1 polling station. Kilifi has 1 polling station. Kisumu has 1 polling station. And just to verify that, because this is important, when IEBC says Kisumu has 1 polling station reporting, let's see which polling station is this in Kisumu that is reporting right now. So Kisumu has from Muhoroni. So the section of Muhoroni is turning blue because 1 polling station is reporting, but this polling station reporting in Muhoroni is in favor of Raila Odinga. That's the reason why it's turning blue this evening. So the IEBC portal is saying Kisumu is reporting 1 polling station, and we have verified it's in Muhoroni, that polling station turning blue for Raila Odinga. In Kitui, there are 2 polling stations. Let's try and once more just verify that in Kitui and see exactly what we're talking about, because they say Kitui has 2 polling stations. Exactly. So when the IEBC portal reflects that they're reporting 2 polling stations, when you come to our map, you will see a section of that map in the county of Kitui turning a color or 2, and Mwingi North right now, because the votes that have been counted, which is valid 15 out of 523, are in favor of Raila Odinga. So when you see it turning blue, that is the only reason. But if you go back to the IEBC portal, you will see that they are reporting 2 polling stations. So apparently 2 polling stations in Mwingi North have reported, and they're positive for Raila Odinga. That's why you're seeing it turning blue. And just to play around with this, let me see 2017 how it voted. It all went blue. In 2013, let's see how it voted. It all went orange in favor of Raila Odinga. This is the traditional voting bloc of Kalonzo Musyoka, who is now behind Raila Odinga, and Martha Karua supporting their bid for presidency. Now, just to conclude, Laikipia is reporting to also. Mombasa is reporting to. Mombasa is somewhere down here. We haven't been able to capture it so well, but Mombasa is this small county here. No results so far reported. IEBC portal is saying that Mombasa is reporting 2 polling stations. Out of any of the 6, we might have results when I come back here. We'll be telling you which areas of Mombasa is the IEBC reporting that 2 polling stations are reporting. In Nakuru, it's 1. In Narok, there are a total of 5 polling stations in Narok that are reporting currently. And because we haven't gotten that data yet, we are not likely to show it. But when we come back, the IEBC is saying there are 2 that are reporting. There are actually 5 that are reporting in Narok. So they could be from any of this. They could be Narok East, Narok North, Narok West, Dikir, Kilgoris, or even Narok South. When we have those results, we'll be reflecting them. The IEBC is saying that 5 polling stations in Narok have already given the results out of 885 polling stations. And in Siaya, there are 2 in Turkana. Interestingly, there's a development in Turkana, because right now, Turkana is reporting even more, and down there's already Pokot that is standing. I'm going to look at the Pokot, but the IEBC says that 8 out of the 786 are reporting, which means 1.02% of the county of Turkana is reporting results. So 8 polling stations in Turkana is reporting results already. So Turkana starts from here all the way. It reflects blue, but 8 are reporting. Now, the interesting bit now is that Pokot has reported. Now, this is how our map will play out tonight, because Kacheleba in Pokot is reporting results. Now, Kacheleba in Pokot could be having several polling stations, but what we are reporting tonight, it's turning yellow in favor of William Ruto. Let's look at 2017, how Kacheleba specifically did in that election. It turned red in favor of Jubilee Party. and it's gone to Ruto, parts of it, a section of it, a small section of it, because these results are provisional and we are feeding them as we get them. In 2013, let's see how Kacheliba behaved in Pokot. In 2013, it was also red in favor of Uhuru Kenyatta. In 2017, same thing, and in 2022, it's part of it is yellow in favor of William Ruto. Very interesting. We have a long night tonight with about 12 million declared by the Iebc to have voted. That's aside from the fact that the ones who voted with the manual register have not yet joined that fray. So far, about 56.7% according to the Iebc by 4 p.m. It's now around 1 hour later. It may have increased. When we come back, we'll be telling you more areas because Kitui is reporting, Garissa is also reporting. But first, let me take you back to my colleague Hadia on the other side.
Barabara, tathmini ya kina hiyo kutoka kwa mwenzangu Ken Mijungu. Kadri matukio ama takwimu zinavyozidi kutiririka ndivyo wanavyozidi kutupambia ramani yetu pale, kulingana na zile rangi ambazo zimeweza kujitokeza katika sehemu mbalimbali na vituo mbalimbali ambavyo tayari vimekamilisha zoezi hilo la kuhesabu kura. Tukipeleka kwenye maeneo mengine, twende kwenye eneo la Nyeri ambapo Clement Masombo yupo aweze kutujuza shughuli ya kuhesabu imeanza, iwapo imeanza, mambo yapo vipi, ili tuweze kujua tu na mtazamaji wetu pia aweze kujua vile vile.
Na shukran sana. Hapa nipo katika kituo kimoja cha kupiga kura ambacho kiko katika eneo bunge la Nyeri mjini, na hapa shughuli ya kupiga kura ilishatamatika, na kinachoendelea sasa ni kwamba kituo hiki kilikuwa na streams 5 ambazo zilikuwa zinatumika katika ile shughuli ya kupiga kura, na kwa sasa kila kituo ambacho kati ya zile streams 5 ambazo zilikuwa zinatumika wamekusanyika kwa makundi wakiendeleza tu ile shughuli ya kupanga zile kura kulingana na zile kura ambazo zimepigwa. Na kwa sasa kura ambazo wameanza nazo ni kura za urais ambazo wanapanga kila mgombeaji wa urais akiwekwa kura zake zikitajwa zinawekwa mahali fulani. Na hapa hiki ni kimoja, kile upande ule wa pili ni kingine, alafu kuna vingine vitatu ambavyo viko upande huu. Na kwa sasa hiyo ndio inaendelea hapa, lakini kumbuka kwamba kaunti nzima ya Nyeri ina jumla ya kupiga kura 1482 ambao walikuwa wamejisajili kushirika katika uchaguzi wa mwaka huu. Na kati ya hao wapiga kura 1087 walikuwa wanatoka katika eneo bunge hili la Nyeri mjini. Na kwa sasa ni hayo tu ambayo yanajiri, lakini awali tukizungumza na yule afisa mkuu, yule commissioner wa tume huru uchaguzi na mipaka nchini Iebc, alikuwa anatueleza kwamba wale ambao walikuwa wamejitokeza hapo kupiga kura kufikia mwendo wa saa 7 saa 8 hivi, idadi hiyo ambayo ilikuwa imejitokeza ilikuwa kidogo mno. Lakini sasa tulipozunguka maeneo bunge katika vituo kadhaa vya kupiga kura, tuliona kwamba ikikaribia masaa ya kufunga vituo vya kupiga kura mwendo wa karibu saa 10:30 hivi ama karibu na saa 11, wengi walikuwa wamejitokeza sasa kupiga kura. Na hiyo ndio tunatarajia kwamba tukitoka hapa pia tutakuwa tukizuru vituo vingine vya kuhesabu kura, vituo vingine vya kupigia kura ambapo hesabu zinaendelea kabla tuende katika kituo rasmi cha kuhesabu kura za maeneo mabunge yote ambacho kituo hapa Nyeri mjini. Lakini pia kando na hiyo tutakuwa tunazuru maeneo bunge mengine kama vile eneo bunge la Tetu ambalo liko tu hapa, na eneo bunge la Tetu linawapiga kura takriban 1054. Kando na hiyo tutakuwa tukaenda pia eneo bunge la Othaya ambalo linawapiga kura 1058. Tuzuru eneo bunge la Nyeri, eneo bunge la Mathira ambalo linawapiga kura 1104, na vile vile eneo bunge la Kieni ambalo linawapiga kura wengi zaidi 1114. Kwa hivyo kufikia mwendo karibu wa saa 3 hivi tunatarajia kwamba matokeo yatakuwa yameanza kuwasilishwa katika kile kituo kikuu cha kuhesabu kura za eneo bunge nzima la Nyeri mjini, na vile vile kituo cha kuhesabu kura za eneo bunge za kaunti nzima ya Nyeri. Lakini kwa sasa tutakuwa tembea tu katika vituo kadhaa vya kuhesabu kura na vituo kadhaa vya kupiga kura ambavyo tayari saa hizi shughuli za kuhesabu. Na katika kila kikundi hapa unapotazama ni kwamba yule afisa aliyekuwa akisimamia kila kituo anaongoza kikundi cha majenti ambao wamefika hapa kushuhudia tu kwamba hakuna kura ambayo inapotea. Kila agenti yuko ange sana kuhakikisha kwamba kura ya yule mgombeaji ambaye alikuwa anasimamia imewekwa mahali ambapo panastahili. Kumbuka kwamba wakati wa kupiga kura wagombeaji 4 wa urais walikuwa kwenye lile karatasi la kupiga kura. mgombeaji wa muungano wa Kenya Kwanza William Ruto ambaye anagombea chama cha UDA. Kulikuwa na mgombeaji wa Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Raila Odinga. Kulikuwa na mgombeaji wa chama cha Agano Waihiga Mwaure vile vile, na kulikuwa na mgombeaji wa chama cha The Roots Party ambaye ni Professor George Wajakoya. Kwa hivyo hizo ndizo kura ambazo zinaendelea sasa, wanazipanga tu kimahali pake kabla waanze kuhesabu na watangaze matangazo rasmi. Kwa hivyo tutakuwa tumekita kambi katika vituo kadhaa hapa katika eneo bunge hili na kaunti hii ya Nyeri, tukifuatilia jinsi ambavyo matangazo yanakuja kwa njia ya moja kwa moja. Kwako Hadia.
Asante sana Clement Masombo kutoka kaunti ya Nyeri. Taswira inayotupambia runinga yetu kutoka maeneo mbalimbali ni ile ya kuhesabiwa kwa kura ambazo tayari zimekamilika kupigwa mapema jioni ya leo. Twende kwenye kaunti ya Narok. Emmanuel Toa, tujuze ni yapi yanayojiri. Kura zimeanza kuhesabiwa, zoezi linaendelea vipi kufikia sasa? To
Na asante sana Hadia, tunakupata kwa njia shwari. Tuko katika kituo cha kuhesabia kura kwa sasa ambacho kilikuwa kituo cha kupiga kura cha Ole Sankale hapa katika kaunti ya Narok, kaunti 033, na kwa sasa tunaendelea kupokea matokeo. Wale maafisa wa tume ya uchaguzi na mipaka Iebc wameendelea kuhesabu. Kwa sasa wamemaliza kuhesabu zile kura za urais, na dakika chache zijazo watakuwa wanapiga picha karatasi ile ama fomu ile form 34A na kuipiga moja kwa moja na kuiweka kwenye ile tovuti ya Iebc ama kwenye ule mtandao wa Iebc, ambapo mtu yoyote ambaye yuko nchini Kenya anaweza pata matokeo hayo, na baada hapo ndipo tunaweza tangaza rasmi ni matokeo yapi. Kwa sasa kuna takriban vituo 800 hivi ambavyo vinashughulika katika shughuli hii nzima, 885 kulingana na tume ya uchaguzi na mipaka Iebc, na vituo 5 tu ndivyo ambavyo vimeweza kutoa matokeo hadi sasa. Tunarejea kwamba matokeo kutoka maeneo bunge yote 6, maeneo bunge ya Narok North, Narok South, Narok East, Narok West, Murwadikir, Kilgoris na maeneo mengine pia yatakuwa nawasilisha matokeo yao kabla ya mwendo wa saa 6 hivi. Tutakuwa tunajua mbivu na mbichi, lakini kituo kikuu cha kuhesabia kura ni chuo kikuu cha hapa Masai Mara, kaunti ya Narok, ambayo tutakuwa tunaelekea pale kupata taswira kamili ya namna ambavyo shughuli hiyo inafanyika. Kwa sasa yule afisa wa Iebc ameweka ile barua ama fomu ambayo amepiga picha na kuhakikisha kwamba mambo yako sawa. Wale maajenti wagombea wa urais wameitwa pale sasa kuja kuhakikisha kwamba wanatia saini kwenye karatasi ile kuonyesha kwamba wamekubaliana na matokeo hapa, ili kuhakikisha kwamba yale matokeo yatakapotangazwa rasmi ni matokeo ya mwisho, kama vile mwenyekiti wa Iebc Wafula Chebukati alisema kwamba matokeo yatakayotangazwa kwenye kituo cha kupiga kura ndio mwisho rasmi. Kwa hivyo matokeo haya lazima yapigwe msasa kabisa, na baadaye fomu hiyo itatiwa kwenye kijisanduku moja hapo, na fomu zingine zitakuwa zinapeanwa kwa wale maajenti wagombea hao 4 wa urais. Pia fomu moja itabandikwa kwenye mlango wa kituo hiki kuhakikisha kwamba yale ambayo yanafanyika hapa yamekubaliana nayo katika shughuli hii. Na nikikamilisha katika kaunti ya Bomet ambayo pia napiga mbizi na kuhakikisha kwamba naangazia yale ambayo yanatendeka kule. Bado tujapokea matokeo yote kwa sasa, lakini kura hizo zinaendelea kuhesabiwa na zinaweza ingia wakati wowote kutoka sasa, na tutakuwa tunatangazia rasmi. Kivumbi kule kinatarajiwa kati ya wagombea kadhaa, hasa kiti cha ugavana, ambapo gavana wa sasa Profesa Hilary Barchok atakuwa anatafuta nafasi ya kuchukua kwa awamu ya pili kiti hicho cha ugavana kigombea kati, na pia kuna ushindani mkubwa kutoka kwa gavana wa zamani Isaac Ruto wa chama cha mashinani, na tunatarajia kwamba pia katika ugombeaji wa kiti wa useneta tunatarajia kwamba Nick Salat ambaye ni katibu mkuu wa chama cha KANU atakuwa anavaana na yule wa chama cha UDA Hilary Sigei, ambaye pia amejibwaga uwanjani kuhakikisha kwamba yuko kwenye kinyang'anyiro. Kwa hivyo baadaye tutakuwa tunapata taswira kamili ya kura zile ambazo zimetolewa. Nakumbuka kwamba kaunti ya Bomet na sifa kwamba yule yule mgombea wa kike ni Linet Chepkorir ambaye kwa majina ya kimajazi anaitwa Toto, mwenye umri wa miaka 24. Yuko kwenye mbioni kuhakikisha kwamba atakuwa mmoja wa wale wagombea ama wakilishi kike wachanga zaidi nchini, kwa sababu leo tumemwona akipiga kura. Tujashuhudia hali yote ya mtafaruku katika uhesabu wa kura, lakini vile vipakatalishi vya IEBC vimekuwa vikikumbwa na sitafahamu ama changamoto za hapa na pale, lakini shughuli hii imekamilika vizuri. Lakini kile cha kushangaza ni kwamba kuna baadhi ya wale maafisa wa IEBC ambao wamesema wale watu ambao wamejitokeza kupiga kura walikuwa wachache mno. Takriban 50% hivi ya wale ambao walijitokeza ndio waliweza kukamilisha shughuli hiyo. Kwa hivyo ni hali ambayo imeonekana kitaifa. 56% hivi mwendo wa saa 10 kote nchini ndio waliweza kujitokeza kupiga kura. Bado wachanganuzi wa masuala ya kisiasa wataeleza sababu ni zipi haswa, lakini kutoka hapa katika kaunti ya Narok shughuli ni hiyo. Tutakuwa tunaangalia pia vituo vingine vya upigaji kura kuhakikisha kwamba tunapata idadi kamili ya wale ambao wamejitokeza kupiga kura katika mchakato huu mzima, na nani ataibuka kidedea katika kaunti hii haswa ambapo gavana wa kaunti hii Samuel Ole Tunai anatafuta kiti cha useneta, wakigombea kiti hicho na Ledama Olekina wa chama cha ODM ambaye ni seneta wa sasa. Kwa hivyo ni hayo tu hadi kutoka hapa Narok. Tutakuwa tunaangazia maeneo mengine na kukupa picha na taswira kutoka eneo hili. Kwako studio.
Shukran Emmanuel tu ambaye atakuwa anafuatilia kwa karibu kaunti ya Narok na vile vile kaunti ya Bomet kuweza kutujuza mambo ambayo yamejiri kutokana na zoezi la leo la kupiga kura. Kwenye kaunti ya Uasin Gishu, Jeff Kirui amekitaka ambia tujuze ni yapi ambayo yanaendelea sasa hivi. Zoezi la kuhesabu kura limeanza na vile vile iwapo kuna maeneo ambayo bado yanapiga kura kwenye kaunti ya Uasin Gishu. Yuko eneo la Sugoi sasa hivi. Jeff Kirui.
Naam, asante sana Hadia. Kama ulivyosema, tuko katika shule ya msingi ya Kusachei katika eneo la Sugoi, eneo bunge la Tarbo, kaunti ya Uasin Gishu. Hiki ni kituo ambacho mapema mwendo wa saa 11 na dakika 45 naibu rais William Ruto ambaye ni mgombea wa urais chini ya chama cha UDA alipiga kura yake hapa akiandamana na baadhi ya familia yake ambao walikuwa wamefika kupiga kura katika kituo hiki. Na katika shule hii ya msingi kuna vituo viwili, kituo cha kwanza na cha pili, na wamekamilisha kuhesabu kura katika kituo cha kwanza ambapo mgombea wa urais William Samoei Ruto wa chama cha UDA alipata kura 431. Mgombea wa urais wa muungano chama cha Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Raila Amolo Odinga alipata kura 14. David Mwaure wa Agano Party alipata kura 2. Professor George Wajakoya alipata 0. Na hivi sasa linaloendelea haswa katika kituo hiki ama shule ya msingi ya Kosacheni kwamba sasa wanahesabu kura katika kituo cha kupiga kura cha pili. Hicho ni kituo ambacho naibu rais William Ruto pamoja na familia yake walipiga kura. Kwa dakika zijazo, dakika kama 15 hivi, tutaweza kutathmini haswa amepata kura ngapi ama wale wagombea wanne wa urais wamepata kura ngapi. Lakini taratibu inayofanyika katika kituo cha kupiga kura ni kwamba baada ya kura kukamilika wanaanza kufanya mchujo kubaini kwamba ama kuweka vifurushi vya karatasi za kura kwa kila mgombea wa urais. Kumbuka ni 4, kila mmoja anapewa kuna wale mawakala ama makarani wa tume huru ya uchaguzi IEBC ambao kila mmoja anapewa karatasi za mgombea wa urais. Kisha baada ya kukamilika kwa shughuli hiyo ya mchujo wanaanza sasa kuhesabu. Wakimaliza kuhesabu ndiposa sasa wanaanza kutangaza matokeo ya kila mmoja wa wagombea, matokeo ambayo ameweza kuyapata kwenye kura hiyo ambayo ilikamilika mwendo wa saa 11 kama ilivyoratibiwa. Kisha baadaye sasa wanaanza kujaza zile form 34A na maajenti wote ama mawakala wote wa wagombea wa urais wanatakiwa kutia saini baada ya kudhibitisha kwamba yale matokeo yaliyosomwa na afisa mkuu msimamizi wa kituo cha kupiga kura ni matokeo halisia. Kisha baadaye sasa yanaanza kuwasilishwa kupitia vile vifaa vya IEBC ama KMS kit zinawasilishwa katika kituo kikuu cha kuhesabu kura ya urais. Kumbuka kwamba baada ya kukamilika hapa form 34A zinapelekwa ama zinawasilishwa kwa kituo cha kuhesabu kura cha eneo bunge. pale ambapo wataweza kujumlisha kura kutoka vituo vyote vya kupiga kura katika katika eneo bunge, kisha wajaze kwa form 34B ambalo sasa litakuwa ni kujumlisha kura zote, ama form 34A zote iwekwe kwa form 34B. Hivi sasa tunatarajia baada ya kukamilika hapo tutaenda kwenye kituo cha kujumlisha kura, kituo cha Tarbo, eneo bunge la Tarbo. Naarifiwa kwamba iko katika shule ya upili ya Wasingisho. Hapo ndo tutabaini haswa wale wagombea wote, waone kila mmoja alipata kura ngapi katika eneo bunge la Tarbo, kaunti ya Wasingisho. Hadia.
Asante Jeff Kirui ambaye amekita kambi kwenye kaunti ya Wasingishu na alikuwa kwenye kituo cha Kesechera ambacho kwenye eneo la Sugoi samahani, ambapo mgombea wa kiti cha urais naibu rais William Ruto alikwenda kupiga kura pale asubuhi pamoja na familia yake, tukiwa tumeonyesha picha hizo hapo awali. Sasa hivi tuende kwenye kaunti ya Siaya, kaunti ambayo inawapiga kura 533,595 na ni baadhi ya kaunti ambazo tayari zimeanza kuwasilisha matokeo kwenye maeneo mbalimbali ambayo amemaliza kuhesabu kura hizo. Mwenzangu Abi Agina amekita kambi pale. Atujuze ni yapi ambayo yanaendelea sasa hivi. Abi, kwako.
Na asante sana. Hivi sasa tunakuja moja kwa moja kutoka kaunti la Siaya, na hivi sasa wanahesabu kura zile za urais, na wakati huu tunaona kuna ulinzi mkali katika eneo hili, huku wakaaji wakiendelea kusubiri matokeo. Kuanzia tangu tufike hapa hatujashuhudia kisa chochote, bali kuhesabu kura imekuwa ikiendelea vyema, hakujakuwa na tashwishi lolote, huku maagenti wakiendelea kukita kambi pia wakisubiri matokeo. Hivi sasa picha unazoziona pale ni za maagenti ambao wanaendelea kufuatilia jinsi uchaguzi wa kura unavyoendelea, na mbali na hayo pia tutazidi kutembea katika eneo tofauti katika kaunti ya Siaya ambayo inaendelea kuhesabu kura hivi sasa. Tunakuja moja kwa moja kutoka Karapul, shule ya Karapul hapa Siaya County, na wakazi wamezingira darasa hili hapa nje, wengi wao wakifuatilia kuona kwamba uchaguzi kuhesabu kura unaendelea vyema bila jambo lolote kutokea. Naam, tutazidi kukupatia ripoti zinavyokuja kutoka eneo hili, na kwa hayo ndio tunayo hivi sasa.
Tangu Abi Agina ametoka kaunti ya Siaya kule aweza kutujuza tu baadhi ya masuala ambayo yanaendelea sasa hivi. Shughuli nzima ya kuhesabu kura tayari imeanza kwenye baadhi ya maeneo, ikiwa kaunti ya Siaya ni baadhi ya kaunti ambazo tayari zimewasilisha baadhi ya matokeo kutoka sehemu fulani, na vile vile pia kaunti ya Kisumu ni miongoni mwa kaunti kwenye eneo la Nyanza ambazo zimewasilisha baadhi ya matokeo kwenye maeneo hayo. Vile vile kaunti ya Kitui yenye wapiga kura 532,758 pia imewasilisha matokeo ya baadhi ya sehemu. Vile vile kaunti ya Garissa tumeona imewasilisha matokeo, kaunti ya Turkana, ya Baringo, vile vile kaunti ya Kwale, ya Mombasa, na vile vile pia kaunti ya Bomet tutakuwa tunafuatilia kwa karibu, na Narok ambapo mwenzangu Emmanuel To amekita kambi huko. Matokeo yatakuwa endelea kutiririka na ramani yetu pale itakuwa endelea kubadilika rangi kadri ya vile matokeo yanavyokuwa yanakuja kwenye kitovu chetu cha matokeo hapa kwenye shirika la The Standard. Kumbuka hapo awali mwendo wa alasiri tayari IEBC ilikuwa imetaja kwamba wapiga kura milioni 12 walikuwa tayari wamejitokeza kupiga kura, ikiwa ni 56.12 ama 17 kufikia wakati wa alasiri. Kumbuka wapiga kura ambao walisajiliwa na tume ya IEBC mwaka huu wakitarajiwa kupiga kura ilikuwa ni milioni 22.1, na kutokea kwa 56% kufikia alasiri ilikuwa bado inatoa kwamba kulikuwa na idadi ambayo haijajulikana kufuatia ile sajili ya daftari ambayo ilitumika kufuatia kufeli kwa vile vyombo vya KIMS-KIT ama ukipenda sajili ya kielektroniki. Vile vile tutakuwa tunapata kupata matokeo kutoka kwa tume ya IEBC ambapo pia tuna kikosi kizima pale cha Kivumbi 2022 kimekita kambi kwenye ukumbi wa Bomasi. Tunaye Zubeda pale, Hassan Juma yuko pale, na vile vile pia Muremi Mwangi. Kuweza kukujuza tu mtazamaji matokeo yako vipi, na yakifika tunakupatia moja kwa moja. Kwenye kaunti ya Kisumu tumeongea na Ahmed Bahaj, na alikuwa amesema tayari zoezi la kuhesabu kura pia limeanza. Ni miongoni mwa kaunti ambazo zimeanza kupiga kura mapema na hakukuwa na tashwishi nyingi, hivyo zoezi kwenye maeneo mengi ya Kisumu lilikamilika mapema na kura zimeanza kuhesabiwa mapema. Vile vile kumbuka mtazamaji, kuna baadhi ya maeneo ambapo uchaguzi ulikuwa umeahirishwa hapo jana kufuatia kuchapishwa vibaya kwa makaratasi ya ugavana kwenye kaunti ya Mombasa, kaunti ya Kakamega, na vile vile pia kwenye maeneo bunge ya Eldas na vile vile Kitui Rural na maeneo mengine bunge kwenye kaunti ya West Pokot pia vile vile yameweza kuahirishwa hadi tarehe 23 ambapo tutakuwa wanapiga kura hizo, tuweze kujua pia matokeo yatakuwa vipi. Tutakuwa tunaendelea kufuatilia. Na mtazamaji, vile vile pia tulikuwa tumeona kuna baadhi ya maeneo ambapo kumekuwa pia na utovu wa usalama kwenye kaunti ya Wajir, ambapo pia vile vile kura zilikuwa zipigwe na zikaratibiwa kupigwa hapo kesho. Lakini sasa hivi naarifiwa kwamba Kevin Nyakundi tayari yuko pale kwenye shule ya msingi ya Nairobi aweze kutujuza shughuli ya kuhesabu kura ipoje. Hapo awali niliongea na wewe Kevin na zoezi lilikuwa limetamatika. Je, zoezi la kuhesabu kura pia limetamatika ama bado wanahesabu kwenye kituo hicho?
Halijakamilika. Tunaendelea kungoja wahesabu kura ambazo zilipigwa hivi leo. Tunaendelea kungoja ambapo tunaangalia kwamba pengine zoezi hili linaweza malizika, lakini bado tunaendelea kungoja. Bado hawaja fikisha ile nambari ambayo walikuwa wamefikiria kufika. Hivyo basi tunaendelea kungoja tuone usiku huu vile mambo yatakavyoenda. Tuko katika shule ya msingi ya Nairobi na constituency ni Dagoretti North. Hadia.
Naam, asante Kevin Nyakundi. Tutakuwa tunarudi kwako hapo baadaye kuweza kujua hali ipoje, zoezi limekamilika na vile vile pia kupata tu matokeo. Mtazamaji, labda nikurudishe nyuma tu. Baadhi ya maeneo tayari yameanza kupeperusha matokeo yao kwenye baadhi ya kaunti, ikiwemo kaunti ya Siaya, vile vile kaunti ya Kisumu, ya Kitui na vile vile pia kaunti ya Garissa, Turkana na Baringo, vile vile Bungoma pia tumeona tukisubiria pale matukio yakiwa yatatangazwa kupitia zile takwimu ambazo tunazipata kutoka ile tovuti yetu ya matukio hapa kwenye kituo cha The Standard. Na vile vile kaunti ya Kwale pia tunatarajia kuona matokeo pale, kwa sababu kuna baadhi ya vituo ambavyo tayari vimewasilisha matokeo yao baada ya kuhesabu kura hii leo. Kumbuka kaunti ya Mombasa na kaunti ya Kakamega zitakuwa zinapiga kura yao ya ugavana tarehe 23 mwezi huu kufuatia kule kuahirishwa kwa zoezi lile na tume ya Iebc hapo jana kufuatia kuchapishwa vibaya kwa makaratasi ya ugavana. Vile vile pia maeneo bunge mengine yatakuwa yanajumuishwa kwenye kura hizo tarehe 23. Na sasa hivi pia tunafahamu kwamba tayari wapiga kura walikuwa wamefika 112,065,803. Nakumbuka pia upande wa kitovu cha kujumuisha matukio ya urais nchini kwenye ukumbi wa Bomasi tutakuwa tunapata matukio pale, na tayari tuko na wenzetu wamekita kambi pale kuweza kuangalia tu shughuli ziko vipi. Tunatarajia pia maafisa wa Iebc na makamishna kuweza kuhutubia kikao cha wanahabari muda wote kutoka sasa, ikiwa ni hotuba ya 3 kwa sababu walitoa mara 2 siku ya leo kuweza kutupatia tu mustakabali wa mambo yalivyo sehemu mbalimbali. Uchaguzi umekamilika, yale maeneo ambayo yalikuwa yameongezwa muda kufuatia kufeli kwa vile vifaa na kuanza kucheleweshwa kwa zoezi lile, je, yamekamilika mazoezi yale ya kupiga kura? Na vile vile tutakuwa tunafuatilia tu kwa ukaribu kuweza kujua ni wapi ambapo kura zimetamatika na pia wapi ambapo kura zinahesabiwa. Naam, mtazamaji mwenzangu Ken Mijungu tayari yuko pale kwenye kitovu cha matukio hapa kwenye shirika la The Standard, na naarifiwa tayari na matukio mengine ambayo tayari yametiririka. Aweze kutujuza mambo yapo vipi sasa hivi, ramani yetu imeendelea kubadilika rangi au mambo yapoje Ken?
Hadia, of course there are several changes on the map tonight because it's just about 20 minutes since we last showed you what was happening in the country. But you will see the difference. The first difference you'll see is that the Deputy President and Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate William Samoei Ruto has jumped on top of the table. And Raila Odinga is now trailing William Ruto at 61%, 61.64%, and Raila Odinga at 38.20%. Now, that is the first change you will see tonight. And Turkana has also turned yellow. Now it shows it's in favor of William Ruto. Initially, it was all blue. And there's a few areas that have also turned yellow, and that is Nandi, Uasin Gishu, and also Bomet. They have turned yellow. Now, I'd just like to break down this for you, Hadia, because this is very important. The reason why you're seeing it currently yellow is there are additional votes that have come in favor of William Ruto that Raila Odinga does not have. So increasingly, let me break it down for you. Increasingly, when there are more votes coming in favor of a candidate, you are likely to see the shift in coloring. Now, initially, we had the whole of Turkana County as blue. But now look at what has changed here. 238,528 registered voters. Valid so far is 83. Now we are reporting in Turkana currently that this change. Loima and Turkana Central and of course Turkana East are reporting they are blue. However, if you look at the general map right now, okay, this is what happens when this has to change constantly. Whenever there are additional votes that come in favor of a candidate, you're likely to see this. So I was just reporting this was yellow in favor of the Deputy President, William Ruto, but now it's turned blue. The reason why it's turning blue once more, I'd explain that, is because there are additional votes from polling stations. Remember, Turkana County is very, very vast with 6 constituencies. Each constituency has several polling stations. Whenever a polling station reports and there are positive results on a candidate, then our map will pick the color of that candidate. So for example, right now, more of the polling stations in Turkana County are reporting in favor of Raila Odinga. Now, out of those, Loima, Turkana Central, and Turkana East, all those counted votes, valid 83 votes, are in favor of Raila Odinga. If you look at the general map, you see the reason why it's blue. But just down of Turkana, there is Pokot. Let's take a look at Pokot, which is yellow for William Ruto, and Kacheliba still stands as reporting. But remember, in this map, what will happen is this: if all these other areas will report blue, then the map of Pokot is definitely going to turn blue in favor of Raila Odinga. So if you look at the color and at one point you see a dominant color in a particular area and the other areas are not reporting, then that is what will be called on our map for that candidate. But if the other candidates, if the other polling stations would report tonight, Pokot South, Sigor, Kapenguria would report blue, then you'll see the whole of this map change to Raila Odinga's color, which is blue. But right now, as it stands, Pokot is reporting, the only polling stations that have been declared right now are reporting yellow and turning our map yellow, so in favor of Deputy President and Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate William Ruto. So I like to do this, right? So I'd just like to expand this map a little bit so that we see what's happening. Uasin Gishu, Nandi, and of course Elgeyo Marakwet, they're all reporting yellow tonight for Deputy President William Ruto. So I'll pick just one of them. Let me pick, for example, Elgeyo Marakwet and see what's happening here. Now, that's a section of the map that is not yet reporting, but definitely we will get there. So I just want one more time to pick an area from the general map and see which one. So I'll pick Uasin Gishu right now. And Uasin Gishu, let's see what Uasin Gishu is reporting. If it's reporting yellow. So in Uasin Gishu, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 constituencies, the only section of Uasin Gishu that has reported as at now is Kapsaret, Oscar Sudi. Now, because Oscar Sudi's constituency is reporting the only area in Uasin Gishu County, it's definitely in favor of William Ruto, who is the UDA candidate. That's why Uasin Gishu in Kapsaret specifically is reporting yellow. So if you would go to the general map once again, you will see the whole of that region of Uasin Gishu as yellow. But it doesn't mean that William Ruto is leading in Uasin Gishu. It only means that the only polling stations that have reported in Uasin Gishu, and I'll break it down in a bit, have reported in favor of William Ruto. So definitely it's turning yellow for Deputy President and Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate William Ruto. So let's pick Nandi, for example, and see how Nandi is reporting. Now look at Nandi, for example. Nandi has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I've gone to Kecheliba. Let me see if I can go back to that. If it doesn't, I'll just reset the whole of our map and try and do this one more time. So I'd like to pick Nandi once more and try demonstrate what exactly I'm talking about. So Nandi has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 constituencies. In Nandi County, which has 406,000 registered voters, the valid votes that have been counted so far is 437. And in Nandi tonight, and as at now, which is 2 minutes past 8 p.m., only this section is reporting. Now, this is Tinderet constituency in the county of Nandi. 437 so far as counted. So while Tinderet is reporting yellow, when you go back to the general map, you will see the area of Nandi has been painted red. But I like to do a comparison because this is important still in Nandi. Let's see what happened in 2017. In 2017, this is how the map looked like. It was all red for for the Jubilee Party. So Tinderet, which is just down here, no doubt, was in favor of the Jubilee Party, and President Uhuru Kenyatta won that election, followed by Raila Odinga. So it's no strange. The map correlates rightly. Following that election, it turned red, and right now it's turned, and Tinderet, you would expect that definitely being the backyard of Deputy President William Ruto, it's gonna turn red. In 2013 still comparison, it was still red. So definitely our map is accurate to the point of that election. And finally, I'd like to mention a few areas that are reporting tonight, and there is this small area here of Nairobi, very important, the capital. Now the capital is reporting for the first time. I'd like to expand the map a little bit so that we see the areas of Nairobi that are reporting. All right, the areas of Nairobi that are reporting as at right now, with the results that have come in, is Ruaraka, Embakasi North. A section of Mathare is also reporting, and Embakasi East is also reporting. Now, the reason why you look at the general map and it's all blue, because the votes that have been counted in the capital, that is Nairobi, are in favor of the Azimio candidate, Raila Odinga. That's why if you go back to the whole map of the country and look at Nairobi specifically, that small area right there just below Kiambu, it's reporting blue. But I'd like to make a rider here. In any case, William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza takes more of the areas that we're seeing currently in the map, all these areas. I'm telling you, Nairobi is going to be painted in yellow, but just realize as we report, the numbers are increasing, so we might have a few blue, or we might have a whole yellow map here. And when that happens, when we will be showing you the map when we come back, you will definitely notice that perhaps this small place right here that is called Nairobi is turned yellow, but as that now, it is in blue. Let's take a look at 2017 just briefly, what happened, and 2013 in Nairobi. I think we are going to summarize this map because there's a lot of things that is happening, but generally as at right now, 16,649, 58.41% in favor of William Ruto, 41% in favor of Raila Odinga at 1,170, about 500 votes less. So William Ruto is at the top, Raila Odinga is below William Ruto, and these results continue coming in. I will be coming back with more analysis on the magic screen right here. But right now, because the vote counting is on in several polling stations and constituencies around the country, I'll take you to Kisumu, where our very own Brenda Zeda Radido is also on standby. And Brenda, appraise us on what's happening where you are. Is the vote counting on? And what is the trend if you have been witnessing the vote counting in Kisumu?
Yes, Ken, indeed, you're right. First of all, let me say good evening. It's been a long day, busy activities here in Kisumu County. Vote counting is underway. And of course, earlier on, my colleague Hamed Bahaj was at the Jomo Kenyatta Sports Ground painting a picture of what was happening there. I witnessed that process so far. Oron of ODM party seems to be leading in terms of the vote counting from the sports ground polling station in Kisumu County. Right now, I am at the Aga Khan Hall, where you can see, if I may request my colleague to just give you some pictures, the live pictures of what is happening. It is the vote counting of Member of Parliament of Kisumu. Central, and we can see that Oron is still taking the lead in terms of so far the vote counting that is currently underway. And this process, of course, you can see, Ken, the agents of the candidates have to confirm that the marking on the ballot paper is clear. It does not come out of the box, so that once they agree, the correct ballot paper is put aside and is counted, but spoiled ballot paper is put aside. So far, Ken, I can tell you that this polling station has not recorded any spoiled ballot papers. And of course, we have Oron's agents, we have Outa's agents. Outa is running on an independent ticket. Before he was an ODM member, but then Oron, who's seemingly to be taking a clear lead, is an ODM member vying for that seat. And I'm also being informed that so far it is only one spoiled ballot paper for the Member of Parliament. So this process is going to continue. So Ken, so far they've only opened the ballot box of a Member of Parliament. Once they're done with this process, they continue to the next ballot box, which will be for the Senator of Kisumu County. Then they move to the woman representative, and then to members of the County Assembly, and then to the gubernatorial position, and then from there they go to the presidential box, so that they can empty those boxes. So these boxes have to be emptied in a transparent manner to confirm that, one, it has not been tampered with, and two, they count all the ballot papers that have been casted by residents of Kisumu County, who woke up as early as 3 a.m. to cast their ballot and elect the men and the women who govern this country and also Kisumu County for the next 5 years. And Ken, I mean, even outside, as we were walking in outside this polling station, supporters of different candidates were still outside waiting patiently to know if some of their their favorite candidates have actually carried the day. So it's also going to be a long wait, not only for the supporters, but then for these candidates, because at the end of the day, Kisumu County, Kisumu Central has to have a Member of Parliament, has to have a woman representative, has to have a gubernatorial leader, the county boss for this county, has to have a member of the county assembly. This process ended at exactly 5 p.m. at this polling station. 3 hours later, and the voting process has already begun. Of course, Ken will continue giving you more updates as and only when we get it here from Kisumu County, and the person who's actually displaying the ballot papers for the agents to confirm that the ballot papers do not have any spoiled vote is the presiding officer. So Ken, I'd like to hand it over to you back in studio just to continue with the live coverage. Of course, here we will not close an eye, we will not sleep. All our eyes are on these men and women of the Iebc, the officials who are counting these votes to ensure that the right men and women who've been voted in take the leadership of not only the country but also of Kisumu County, County 042, which has 606,754 registered voters. Ken, back to you in studio.
Because Brenda, thank you so much. And it's a long evening for all of us right here on KTN News. And Brenda reporting from Kisumu. She's not the only one. Let's now cross over to Uasin Gishu, now from the political stronghold of Raila Odinga to that of William Ruto, who is, by the way, on top of the map as at now. And Moses Wahisi and the whole team is there. Moses, over to you.
Yeah, Ken Mijungu, I know plenty of excitement. I know the D-Day, and a lot of people were talking about the numbers. Which number will be the magical number is a question that begs. But when you think about the voter turnout, a conversation that has been there from morning, I will agree. We will not have the majority of numbers actually as we compare to last election. So maybe a little bit of a miss, but the question is what exactly happened or what is happening. But what matters now is who will be able to take the lead. Let me just take you through some of the results that have already been tabulated, and this is in the different polling station that we've been able to get so far in Uasin Gishu County. I'll start with Kipkenyo primary stream number 2. Ruto actually was able to get 434 votes. Raila Odinga with the 21 votes. Chebarus primary school stream 2. Ruto with the 308 votes. Raila Odinga with the 69 votes. Homecraft station stream number 2. Presidential we're talking about. Raila 152. Ruto 193. Maure 2. And we had Wajakoya getting 2. And rejected vote was 1. Kipkaren primary school stream number 5. Ruto 220, Raila 192. Kipkaren primary school, I know they're still trickling in, so let me just go back because a number of the results coming in. Eldoret Langa's primary stream number 1, Raila 233, Ruto 78, Wajakoya 2, Maure 0, rejected 6. Kipkaren primary school stream number 2, Raila 205, Ruto 183. Homecraft stream number 1, Ruto 178, Raila 154. So the results are still trickling in. We will be telling you what exactly will transpire because a lot of the issues that a lot of people actually are talking about now is how fast the process will end. We will not tire actually. We will continue to tell you what is happening. But just allow me to bring in Madam R.O. She has been here the entire day, just making sure that the process keeps on gathering pace the best way that it can. Probably in your own assessment, I know the results have started to trickle in Kapseret to be specific. What are the timings? What do we expect or what are you hearing from your people on the ground?
Thank you so much. Yeah. So far, so good. The results have started trickling in. And from the picture I can say that the POs have done good work. The forms are clear, clean, as per the training. That one I'm happy for one. Very good work from my staff. So far we have received like about 12 for the presidential, the picture. So we want after this, we will try to tally on our form 34B and thereafter announce. And then, of course, prepare to take the result to Nairobi, to the National Tallying Center. But so far, so good. The day has been good. The machines worked perfectly well. We didn't have any hitch. Yeah, when I was walking around at 3 o'clock, there were no queues. Most people came in the morning, they voted. By afternoon, there were no queues. Yeah, so the process has been very smooth and successful.
Talk about the process being smooth and successful. When do we expect the entire process to end? I know we were just waiting for some regions to finish the presidential counting and tallying, and the process will continue. But in general assessment, and from what you can see or what you can tabulate and think and maybe measure, what are the timings that we're looking on at this area?
Yeah, because we have to be very keen, very, very careful. We don't want to make a mistake. Let's just give it up to 4 in the morning, 4 o'clock. We want to be very keen. We shall reconfirm to make sure that the tallies that we have been sent are correct before maybe we announce. So we have to be very careful. Yeah, we shall not be in a hurry to make mistakes. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, Ken Mijungu, in black and white, we will not be in a hurry because we don't want to make any mistake. The RO very clear with that, and that is how it is supposed to be. So, projecting for M, it tells you that we will be here. We're not going anywhere. If we go any other place, then it will be a different polling station just to see and keep the viewers abreast to what exactly is happening. And that is what we have at this particular time, Ken Mijungu.
Good work, Moses, and we'll definitely be coming back to you because the results are trickling in. I was just looking at the area where Moses is, but before I comment over that, I'd like to go to Kisumu where our very own Abi Agina is standing, in Siaya County rather, where Abi Agina is standing. And Abi, very interesting findings. The IEBC is reporting from 34 A's that have gone so far into their portal, and 11% so far gone. We still have 89% out there, but in Siaya where you are 303 from 34 A's, that means 303 polling stations are already reporting out of 1,036. That's about 29%. You still have about 71% there that are yet to report. But tell us, our map is filling here. What are you seeing from where you are? Is the count on and the vigilance in that region also?
Well, many thanks, Mijungu. Indeed, here in Siaya, vote counting has been underway since 6:30 p.m. and they are so far moving on pretty well, and you can see live images here. They've already concluded the presidential results. They've also done the Member of Parliament, as well as now they are conducting for the Member of County Assembly. A lot of expectations coming out from this county, and so far we can report from right now we are here in Siaya County in school called Karapul Primary School. This is in Alego Usonga. And so far, we can clearly see some interesting numbers that are streaming in regards to the presidential vote. So far, we can see out of the various streams that have been able to count the votes, and we are seeing Raila Odinga having a lead with 474 votes, Deputy President Ruto at 7 votes here, Wajakoya didn't get any vote here, as well as Maure. That was the stream 2. Stream 1, we did see Raila Odinga getting 477 votes, Deputy President Ruto garnering about 9 votes, as well Wajakoya and Maure not attaining any votes here. And the last one here we can bring in is for the Member of Parliament that has already been counted. This is for Alego Usonga constituency, where the incumbent Samuel Atandi is having a lead of 402 votes, and George Mulwan having about 63 votes, as well as Joseph Ochieng at about 6 votes, and Sospita Opinon at 12 votes, and this is for Stream 1 at Karapul Primary. A lot of activity also happening in other polling stations, Ken, and we'll be crisscrossing just to give our viewers all the action happening down here in Siaya County. Remember, this is the political bedrock of the Azimio candidate, Raila Odinga, and the numbers coming out of this region will be critical in the arithmetic as you continue to look at the numbers on our big screen there. But Ken, let me briefly interact with the presiding officer here at Karapul Primary to just get a sense of how soon are they likely to conclude the counting exercise and what steps will follow. And Karibu Sana, perhaps just tell us so far, how is it going? How soon are you likely to finish counting the votes?
Okay, we haven't had so much ugly incidences. The polling and counting, polling was concluded well. We are now counting the votes, just as he has said. We are doing for the MCA. We expect that in the next around 2 hours, we shall be having all the results from this polling station. That is Karapul 001.
It seems like you've been doing very efficient work in terms of counting the votes. You're saying in the next 2 hours, you'll be closing off and heading off to the constituency tallying center.
Okay, that one, I have been able to do that successfully because, as you can see, even behind me, I have my team that I am working with, and they are very cooperative. I give instructions, we work together. Here there is no boss here. Even me, I count, I can do any other job as long as we try and beat the deadline.
All right. And Karapul Primary will be, of course, forwarding their results to the constituency tallying center, Ken. And so far, out of this particular county, we do know that Siaya as a county will be contributing close to about 558,000 votes in regards to the registered voters in the county. And remember, also the gubernatorial race shall be giving you the numbers even as they continue to stream in. But Ken, also we are seeing a number of the voters are still keeping vigil here, and some of them are by the window area, just monitoring and ensuring all the developments are going on smoothly, and they are keeping vigil. And perhaps a lot of them have already expressed their happiness in regards to how the Iebc is conducting this election. And I don't know, kuna mmoja wenu anaweza ongea na sisi briefly? Aya, karibu tusalimie. Aya. Okay, Ken. Well, they are still a bit jittery, and we continue to give you the live images from Siaya County, and we'll be going to the different constituencies. That includes Game constituency. We'll also be moving over to Ugunja, Ugenya, as well as Bondo, and not forgetting the other very important counties that will be contributing to the larger Nyanza region. Ken, that's what we can report as of now, and we ask our viewers to continue keeping it locked here in KTN News, where we shall be giving you the whole story from the ground as we continue to crisscross this great county of Siaya, Kababa.
Kabisa. Thank you so much, Abi. And of course, the excitement right behind you. And very interesting what's happening tonight. And everyone is looking. And Abi, that's what they call Kuchunga Kura ya Baba in that region. Siaya County, that's where we have on the map tonight 533,595 registered voters. On the map tonight, we are only reporting the sections that we have the results so far from the Iebc. And of course, this is provisional results. There is Ugenya, Ugunja, Game, Alego, Bondo, and Rarieda. A total of 6 constituencies. Abi is only reporting from one currently. The polling station that he is in is Karapul Primary School. Now, this is in the county of Siaya. Before I hand over to Eric, I'd just like to give you a general overview of our map tonight and how the colors are turning. William Ruto from Kenya Kwanza, UDA 3,580 at 58.27% up. And of course, Raila Odinga trailing at 41.16% at 252 of the votes that have been counted so far. Remember, it's 22,124,458 according to the Iebc registered voters. But they're not the only one, because Professor Wajakoya is at number 3 with 26.42%. And Waiga Maore has gotten 9 votes so far at 0.15%. But this is a general overview of the map this evening. I'd just like to expand it a little bit. And the reason why you're seeing sections with blue and sections of yellow is because as results continue coming in, well, they are going to turn. But this does not mean, for example, that Baringo County or the county of Baringo has been taken by William Ruto, because the only section that has declared the results tonight is Tiaty and Mogotio. And in Mogotio, William Ruto has many votes, and that's why it's yellow. In Tiaty is blue, but we still have Baringo North, Baringo South, Baringo Central, and Eldama Ravine not declaring the results. But as soon as they declare the results, the coloring of this map might change. And of course, in Marsabit, the best example of the results that have come in tonight is Marsabit, the latest we have. Now look at it, for example, Marsabit, the whole of Marsabit County, with 166,912 registered voters, so far 279. It is showing that it's yellow going for Deputy President William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza candidate. However, out of the 4 constituencies in Marsabit, we are reporting from only one, Laisamis, that has so far declared results. That's why it's yellow. As soon as probably Saku, North Hor, and Moyale declare results, you might see a change. It might even be blue. So when you see the dominant color, don't mistake it for a candidate taking over that whole region. But it's just because the only declared results in that polling station favor that particular presidential candidate, and that's why the whole of that area takes up that color. I'd like now to hand over to Eric, but I'll go to Meru, for example. I look at Meru, the number of constituencies that we have in Meru, and we have Igembe Central, Igembe South, North, Tigania West, North. There are several constituencies here. However, only one is reporting, and this is this. And because it's only one constituency reporting, the polling stations there are going in favor of William Ruto, so definitely it's going to turn yellow. If at all these remaining areas would turn, would record results in favor of Raila Odinga, you are likely to see in the general map a little bit later turning blue. But as at right now, the only results being declared in Meru favors the Deputy President and Kenya Kwanza candidate, William Ruto. That's why it's yellow. All right. A good place now to hand over to my colleague Eric Latif, who's on the other side. But remember, the focus is on the results that are coming in. The counting began at around 6:30, and the map is filling up. Over to you, Eric.
Very good job done there, Ken Mijungu. Thank you very much from the data center. Of course, we'll be linking back with you all the time as you get the updates so you can refresh the country and tell us what's happening and how the colors are looking as the results keep streaming in. We'll also be linking in with our correspondents from across the country. We'll also be crossing over to Bomasi of Kenya, where Wafula Chebukati and his commissioners of the Iebc are expected to be addressing us later tonight. My name is Eric Latif. This is Kivumbi 2022. We are tracking the results as they come in this evening and also looking back into the day that has been. Voting started in some areas at 6 a.m. sharp. In some areas it was delayed. Voting closed at 5 p.m. sharp. In some areas it was delayed. What is the cause of this? We'll be analyzing that with my guests. I've got three of them with me at the round table. Starting from my immediate left, Caroline Gaita is Executive Director of Mzalendo Trust. Bobby Mkangi is a constitutional lawyer, one of the people who wrote the Constitution of Kenya 2010. And to my right is Marcus Agenga. He's a Senior Program Manager at Election Observation Group, ELOG. Thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Let us begin with looking back into this day. So voting started in some areas right on time, in some areas maybe not right on time. I want to start with you because you have your teams across the country doing the monitoring and observation of whatever is happening. What is it that caused the delays in the areas that we saw delays?
Thank you very much, Latif. And before I respond to that question, I would like to maybe begin by saying that in this election we have deployed over 5,000 observers across the 1450 electoral wards in the country, and our observers are still in the deployed stations now, observing and reporting on counting of the votes, and we'll be able to then to speak to that process. But in terms of the delay, we have noted that a number of stations failed to open in time. However, by 7 a.m. today, our reports indicate that 94.3% of the stations had opened by 7 a.m. And so that gives you about 5.7% of stations that didn't open by 7 a.m. And a number of reasons were documented by observers. And because some of them, for example, the kits malfunctioned and therefore occasioning delay, because as you are aware, the IBC, then the officials are to seek for help to have those kits replaced. Some of the reasons why some of the stations opened late was as a result of missing of certain strategic materials or having wrong election materials in those stations. That's causing the delay as that was being sorted out. In some stations, there appeared to be what would be called some sort of commotion or patterns of violence that's causing some sort of delay. But generally, the stations opened in good time. At least from ELOG reports, by midday, our observers indicated that 94% of the stations that opened by 7 a.m.
Well, 94% is not a bad figure at all. If you consider we're talking about 46,000 polling stations countrywide, if 94% of them had opened within the first hour of the ballots being, the polling stations being expected to open, it's a pass mark.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It's an A, as it were.
However, Caroline,
yes,
there's some areas where there were concerns of not just the KIMS kits not working, but in some areas the election officers were late to arrive at the polling center, or in some areas they were on time at the polling center, but somebody had the key to the classroom and they hadn't arrived. What do you make of that?
Thank you, Eric, for having us. Just echoing what has been said, that overall we are off to a good start. 94-95% is really good compared to even the past years. But part of it also speaks to either lack of planning or lack of coordination. We had in some cases also where the KIMS kit had not been charged and could therefore not work. So I think there were some lapses, especially at the polling centers, that should have been addressed before. But overall, that speaks to lack of planning at that local level and not necessarily on the overall management of the process. The other challenge that we've seen, and perhaps we'll come to that in the course of the conversation, is of course, especially with the elderly, the lack of recognition by the KIMS kit and lack of alternatives for them. I'll be speaking to that in details. Yeah.
We can actually jump into that because there was the issue of the KIMS kits not working.
Yes.
And the electoral officials taking long to make a decision on what to do, the next steps to take.
Exactly, and this is an issue that Iebc itself has pronounced itself all through, that they had options. First KIMS kit fails to work, there were options of an additional 6. If that failed, there was the alphanumerical recognition. And then finally, as a last resort, they would resolve to use the manual. So the assumption then is that all 3 needed to work and decisions made very fast if the failure was noticed. So what we've seen in some of the counties like Makueni and Kakamega ought not to have happened with adequate preparation. So again, speaking to some of this, to some of the lapses that we've witnessed. Another issue, especially in rural areas and where you've seen a lot of the elderly, their fingerprints not being recognized, alternative arrangements on the use of the manual register ought to have been in place. And we've seen that worked in some polling centers, and in others that was not available. And you've seen complaints on social media about people's mothers and grandmothers that were turned away because they could not vote. I think that really was a letdown.
But even that, before we even get to manual, I think if the biometrics are not recognized, there's the alphanumeric, which is just inputting the ID number onto
details.
the same KIMS kits. Why would there be such delays in such, in your view?
Well, first there's definitely the delay as Marcus was speaking to, in terms of there's a regulatory provided time that each polling center, each polling station should open for wananchi to start voting. So I don't know whether it's also the cliche of our African timekeeping that 6 o'clock probably means that's the time officials get there. Whereas perhaps 6 o'clock should be the time, and we had this in very many polling stations, that people are able to cast their votes. So I think going forward, because with every election cycle, we pick up lessons which we have to use in the future. So yes, perhaps today we're at 94-95%, fairly good, when we need to also disaggregate and look at what the reasons are. Previously, in other election cycles, when we've had delays, most of them because of force majeure, in terms of its acts of nature, or flooding, or some natural disaster that caused it, but not so much because of the officiating and the agency or towards that exercise. So we still need to pick up and improve on it. I think Kenyans expect 100% in most of these processes, considering this is the third cycle. Definitely, the election process can't go without, and especially the voting, because this is now the biggest logistical operation in this whole exercise, apart from, say, when we had the mass voter registration. I mean, Kenyans need to remember this is a whole process. The voting is just one aspect, one of the key aspects, but one of the processes during the entire exercise. So in terms of logistical preparations, in terms of the detailing of the preparation, getting these few cases, we would say, and especially also considering that the preparations towards it and the pressure IEBC has been under, the challenges that it has also had in getting the logistical wherewithal together, in terms of even its structural and functional integrity as a commission.
Kenyans are loud. It's like we can't keep quiet about reality.